Do you have a bug in your eye?
My mascara is okay.
Assaulting
Sometimes
your eyeballs?
Yeah. Sorry. This is okay.
This is
I can
highly
see.
unprofessional.
This is very unprofessional. I'm very sorry.
Your eyes better now?
Yes.
You can see again?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Is it up too high?
No, it's fine.
Adjust it as you like.
Get
comfortable.
It's been adjusted the way I'd like it.
How are you doing, Sarah?
I'm a little.
Are you batting your eyelashes?
Yes,
Are you flirting with me?
I'm flirting with
or
you.
do you still have something in your eye?
No. I'm
That was for me.
yes,
Okay.
but I'm a little like I think I'm just flirtatious these days. I'm kind of
Do go on.
boy crazy.
You're boy crazy?
I think like I didn't go through a phase when I was like in middle school or high school or college where I was super into like I had like crushes and stuff. But I think like now I'm like, ooh, he's cute. Ooh, he's cute. Ooh, he's cute.
So you're reaching your sexual peak.
My
is what you're
sexual
saying.
peak, age 30, like everyone said.
Oh, is that a thing?
Yeah.
I feel like is that a thing or is
Now
it like
someone at work told me
like
it's
a
actually
urban legend?
40, which that's what from her experience. But I actually read an article that's like, that's a myth. Like you can have a sexual peak whenever. But yeah, so.
But yours is today.
Mine is today. And
Right this second.
Yes. And that's
And
why
I am in the line of fire.
Yes, you are. No, yeah, I'm on 6 different apps.
You're on apps? Oh, dating apps.
Dating apps.
So which
yeah.
ones are you on?
Hinge, Bumble, OkCupid,
Hinge?
eHarmony.
What does Hinge mean? What does that mean, Hinge?
Like
This is all
like my attraction.
hinging.
My attraction to you hinges on the fact that you have great hair.
okay.
I don't know.
So it's a great
something
hair.
Like that.
It's a great hair.
Well, not just great hair.
No. Okay.
My attraction.
Does
hinges,
it have like a thing? Like, do you have to like open up a treasure box to like how you have to like swipe? Like, is there like a shtick?
Both Bumble and Hinge do the swipe left, swipe right thing, but they also have like you give like 3 bits of information. Like you can choose 3 questions.
Okay.
And they're
so
just
what
like
are
cute
the
questions.
What are the kind
like,
of questions?
Well, like perfect first date or like 2 truths and a lie and like that kind of stuff. I picked for my superpower being able to summon sloths and hedgehogs to my side at will.
Oh, that's a good power. Well, I mean, I don't know what you would do with that if you were in like
I wouldn't do anything
like a battle situation.
I wouldn't do anything important with it. I would just
it's just a
huddle all day.
Now I'm picturing you kind of like an animated character, like Snow White with just
basically
forest creatures surrounding you.
Basically, yes. That is the goal. That is my one goal. No, I'm just kidding. No, but it's just.
Are you enjoying being on these apps?
I am actually enjoying it because I for a long time thought. Okay, so first, listeners, I'm fat. So in case you didn't know, and fat
and beautiful,
beautiful. Yes. But when I say fat, I mean it in the way that Lindy West means it. It's like fat doesn't have to be a derogatory word,
right?
And
this
so
is a description of my body.
The way I am.
I'm beautiful. I'm fat and I'm beautiful.
And I've had people in my life try to make me believe that no one who's fat deserves to be loved and no one could love me if I gained weight because I used to be thin. And since I've gained weight, I've dealt with like feeling like, oh, that's true. No one could love me. No one should love me. And so being on these apps,
that's not true.
Even though that seems like insane that being on these apps would make me feel differently, but it does because there are all these guys who find me like physically attractive.
As well they should. You're a goddess among men.
I don't know about that.
Well, I think so.
Thank you. But yeah, so it feels good.
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad you're having a good time on there.
Yeah, it's fun.
I paired off early in my life when I was 20.
You found the right one.
Yes, I did. But I never really, I never participated in the online dating.
Because when
stuff.
you got with him, we had flip phones.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
We had flip phones.
You didn't have swipe right, swipe left. You had like press the keys 3 times to get a Z.
No, you just like you had to text and answer phone calls, and that was pretty much it. You know,
Yeah, no,
meeting
but
people at work.
when you texted, you had to like, it was like a long, belaborous. Is that even a word?
Belaborous?
That's
it
not
should
a
be
word. It should
because
be a
I
word.
like the way that it sounds. I think we should invent it. Right.
But like to text, like I had a flip phone and I would text with this guy, and like you had to be like,
We didn't
you had
text
to
a lot.
hit like
We
a
worked
key
together.
like 3 times to get to like A B C D E F, like to spell things out. You had to like hit a key like 2 or 3 times.
Yes,
was
that's
annoying.
correct. That's correct. We didn't have a alphabetic keyboard at the time. Yeah, and I guess I never thought about it like that. But welcome to our podcast on the history of cellular technology.
History.
Actually, welcome to the Georgia Made podcast.
Yes, welcome.
Welcome. We're glad you're here.
We are glad you're here.
This is a podcast about film and filmmaking in Georgia, and
Which
I'm one of your hosts, Nicole.
I always say I'm sorry.
You can say whatever you want.
I'm Sarah. That's who I am.
That's who I am, inside, outside.
Yes, Sarah
Yes.
with an H. Okay.
Speaking of Georgia Made, so I've gone on vacation a couple of times already this summer, and
In the state?
yeah, I didn't leave the state.
Okay.
So it's not. I guess it's not that exciting. We went to the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Oh, nice.
Me and Chris and the kids, my sister, her husband, their kids, and my mom and my stepdad.
I saw
We all stayed in a cabin.
The pictures, they looked great.
And while I was there in downtown Blue Ridge, I discovered this place. So, listeners, if you've been listening to this podcast, you know that I am obsessed with tea. Obsessed. I don't drink anymore.
I'm sorry. Oh, I'm
I don't-
sorry.
no, I drink
Alcohol.
tea.
was
I don't drink alcohol
I'm
anymore.
sorry.
I'm sorry, but you're drinking tea right now, so that's a lie. I don't drink anymore because I get migraines, and when in my youth, I used to smoke a lot of weed, which I don't smoke anymore.
Yeah.
Not for any particular reason. And so I've taken all the energy, the connoisseurship that used to go into those things, and I've now transferred it to tea.
Ah.
And I think there's a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
Because with the tea, if you've got the loose leaf tea, you know, it's like you open it up, you've got the smell. You get to there's good tea and bad tea, if you will. You know, there's swag tea and dank tea.
Oh, okay.
You know, if you will. And there's lots of like tea accessories.
Yes.
And it's something you can share with other people. You can get out your accessories and share the tea.
Yes.
So there's a lot of transferable
True.
interests.
And they're all leaves.
They're all leaves. That's true. You're right. That's a very basic one that I
Would you ever consider smoking your tea?
God, no. Well, I don't smoke anymore at all because I smoked in addition to all the recreational marijuana smoking that I did in my 20s. I also smoked cigarettes for a long time, for like 16 years. Mm-hmm. So I don't smoke anything now because I don't trust my willpower to be one of those people that's like, I'm just going to have a cigarette.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm at it's a party. Like, I just don't think I could do it. So I wouldn't.
I don't believe they exist. Do those people
do?
exist
And also,
who only
like,
smoke,
that's
like,
the other
every
thing.
once in
I'm
a while?
like, I'm turning into a dinosaur. Like, I've never online dated. I've never vaped. Seriously. But I don't trust myself. Anyway, so while I was in Blue Ridge, I discovered this place. I discovered it as if no one else knows about it. Like there weren't like 20 other people.
Columbus of teas here,
I'm
right?
the Oh God, please
I'm
don't.
sorry.
Oh God. I did not enslave or subjugate anyone while I was at this tea shop. I just want to make that clear.
Yeah, no. I just meant that Christopher Columbus didn't actually discuss
that in that way. We're exactly alike. Okay. Whew. So Tupelo tea.
Okay.
Based out of Blue Ridge, I think, because I did go immediately look on their website because my first thought was, so inside the whole place, again, Blue Ridge, Georgia, right? So the whole tea place, they've just got like canisters of tea. And again, I've been to Amsterdam, okay? Like I've been to Amsterdam. again in my 20s when I was like waking and baking like 5 times a day. I went to Amsterdam, and at the coffee shops they have, and I'm sure, like, again, I'm an old fucking person, and so I've never vaped, I've never online dated, and I've never lived in an age where I was smoking marijuana at a time when it was legal. So I haven't been to any of the dispensaries or anything like that. So, but when I was in Amsterdam, like at the coffee shop, like you can look at the jars, you can smell them. They all have different types. There's lists of like what they do and what their flavors are. And the tea place was like that. You could go in and smell the different teas, and they were in jars, and you could pick them out. And so right now I'm drinking Blue Ridge Vanilla, which is a black tea that is also flavored with vanilla bean.
Nice.
So I bought a bunch of it, and I'm probably going to be drinking it on this podcast forever. Not just this tea. Like I bought like as many packets of tea as one could reasonably buy at one sitting.
Can you tell me how many that is?
You're just gonna have to keep watching me bring in bags of tea and just start counting.
Track.
Yeah, but also they do online shipping, so I think I'm just gonna be like trying all the teas now.
Okay. Could you read the nutrition facts for us?
I don't think tea has nutrition facts. Like it's not.
It's just leaves.
It's
and
good
flowers.
for you. I mean, black tea has caffeine in it, but. Yeah. It's Friday night. It's Thursday night. What night is it?
It's Thursday.
It's Thursday.
It's
it feels like
Friday.
Let's call it Friday because it feels like a Friday.
It's Friday. Just kidding.
And this is being released on a Wednesday. So what have you been watching lately? Are you still watching Dead to Me?
Man. Oh, I need to get back to that.
You didn't get. So you haven't.
I haven't been. No, I like stopped at a certain episode because I was like, I could get like sucked all the way into this and not stop. And I was like, I don't want to
but you
do
just
that
didn't
just
want to.
yet.
Okay.
Because it was so intense.
Okay. So you needed a break.
I needed a break.
You needed a break.
It's a very good show.
Okay.
We've seen the first episode of Pose.
Yes, we've been watching Pose.
Yes.
Yeah. And I feel like we're probably going to watch that later after this recording.
So good, guys. You have
to
watch
God.
Pose.
Like we don't need to tell you. Because we're late to the party.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah. But
it's so good. Like, I was just like, that first episode, like, it's so beautiful and emotional. And the characters are just like, I know, it's so, like, television.
The story,
is just like, I mean, I'm not, like, saying anything revolutionary here. But we are in an amazing time for television where, like, the storytelling and the types of characters that are getting screen time.
Cinematography. They get gorgeous. Big name actors.
Well, I didn't recognize a lot of I don't think like before the show you would have recognized many of the names that were like the leads in this show though.
No, but they're all like
they're so fabulous.
They're so grounded.
Evan Peters was the only one that I recognized. Evan Peters, who played the businessman, right? Yeah. Because I've been watching I haven't watched it in the last couple seasons, but I had been watching American Horror Story since, and of course, like Ryan Murphy is like one of the creators behind Pose, and he's the creators behind American Horror Story, and so Evan Peters has been in like every season of American Horror Story. So when he showed up, I was like, oh shit.
And he was a great token white guy in this.
Yeah, a token. Yuppie.
Yeah.
He literally works in Trump's tower.
Yes, he does.
Billy Porter. I adore him so much.
Which one is that?
He's the one who's like in the like MC.
The MC. Oh my God.
The one who's like doing the costumes and stuff. So like I just want to watch him all the time. Like I just he's like
the way he announces the costumes,
so
like,
compelling.
So
I mean, but
good.
all the characters
are.
And it's like it's so beautiful to see like trans actors playing characters.
Yes.
Are trans and telling like it's just like it's not something I've ever seen on television.
Yeah.
And it's just like the 80s, like you know, like I grew up in the 80s, right? Mm-hmm. But and like I'm aware of all this stuff and how like in a way it seemed like this carefree time, but there were so many people like not being able to live their lives fully. Like these characters in the show who are, you know, trans and
gay,
LGBT, and they're having to create these dens, these room mother type dens where there's like they've made their own family and they're moving into homes together to protect each other. I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
But it's also so sad to think
Yeah.
about these families that are like like are just, you know, like have just kicked out their own children and
Which I
have,
can't understand that. I mean, like,
you know, banished them from
I
the
don't
family. It's
think
just
I
like,
could
ugh.
kick out someone in my family if they killed someone. I can't imagine kicking.
If they killed someone?
If they were
I
like
don't
my
know.
mom or dad or sis sibling, like, yeah, I would.
I don't know if they
I would be
if they like
upset
murdered.
at them. I'd be very,
know.
but I don't think I could like kick them out of my heart.
I don't know that there's much my children could do that would make me just like never want to speak to them again. I mean, murder's that's intense.
Yeah, but still, you wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I mean that's like deep stuff.
Yeah.
That's some deep stuff.
But the point is that
these guys
being gay is not even close to being a murderer.
Of course.
And so I'm saying, how could you?
Yes, I see what you're saying. I feel like these are, you know, men and women who are just trying to live their lives, and this is who they are, and they're beautiful, kind people, like with good hearts who are, you know, flawed just like the rest of us, and they're like, they deserve treatment, equal treatment, just like anyone else, and not to be treated like some kind of, I don't know,
and I'm
undesirable
so glad that,
or I don't know what. But that scene where I don't remember, we've only been watching one episode, so I'm not familiar with all the characters' names yet. But the dancer, the dancer at the beginning, who's like family, he's gay and he's a dancer, and his parents like kick him out in the first like 20 minutes of the show or whatever, and it's just like so gut wrenching to watch them just like. You know, he has nowhere to go. He has nothing.
He becomes
it's just
homeless.
I mean, I know I'm not saying anything new. Like it's like again, I'm not discovering anything. Yeah. Like it's heart wrenching. Yeah. And then to see these characters come together and like make their own families it's a really beautiful thing, and not a story that I really knew anything about. I didn't know anything about this club scene. I didn't know anything about it, and so it's like so brand new to me.
Glad that these stories are being told. I mean, one of the characters is diagnosed with HIV, and like, you know,
which in the 80s was a death sentence.
And then there's another storyline where a trans woman kind of gets the eye of this straight white man who like you wouldn't think would be interested in that, and he's so into her, and like
he is, and she's into him, and yet this like fucked up society that we live in is, you know, people can't be who they really are. And anyway, but he is also cheating on his wife, so he's garbage.
Yeah, he is.
Played by Kate Mara, who I also recognize from American Horror Story.
Yeah, which like the scene,
Rooney Mara's sister.
The scene with the two white actors in that, like, it just felt like this like other world. It felt like
it was like unsettling.
It was weird. It was like, wow, you know, because the cast is almost all black, which is like
Latino.
or Latino, which is so great to see.
It's a great show. Hopefully hopefully listeners, you're already watching it, but if you're not. I don't have, I cut the cord as it were long ago, so I don't have FX on TV or anything, but it's now on Netflix. That's where we found it. And so you can watch it on Netflix.
It's so good.
Binge that shit.
Yeah.
Fucking binge it.
And
I think season 2 just started.
Okay.
Maybe. I've been seeing promos for it.
I've been having to like hold out for when I can see Nicole again, because like we watch shows together, so
it's really good.
It made me cry at the end, but like not sad tears, like tears of joy. Like it was just so Anyway,
it's beautiful. It's a beautiful show.
Yes.
Shall we dig into today's topic?
Yes, please. Please.
Sorry, I hope I'm not disappointing you.
No, of course not.
So today's topic,
open her
as I crack open
creaky book.
Sorry, this used to be my joke book when I was doing, for the very brief time that I was doing stand up.
She has all the jokes.
Last long. Yeah, I have like not even an entire journal filled with jokes, and they're not very good.
But she tells jokes every day.
I do, but I don't write them down, which means I don't have good habits. Okay. So, some of you may remember if you've been listening to the show. If you haven't been, welcome. Welcome to our show.
If you haven't been, what is wrong with you?
Well,
kidding.
it's good
I'm
to get new listeners.
just kidding,
Sarah's being
guys.
hard on you, but I'm happy that
sorry.
you're here.
I'm having you too.
Sarah, you parched?
I'm sorry. I needed to drink. I'm sorry if you could hear that.
You were
Very
parched.
sorry. Yes, I was parched.
If you haven't listened to the last episode or the last two, I don't know. I remember when we talked about this, but we have sort of made a pledge to cover indie films or locally made
Yeah.
Georgia films, as well as some of the more big budget or like mainstream stuff that's been filmed in Georgia, because we are indie filmmakers and we are lucky to be part of this community. So we want to cover some of things that are happening. And this thing that we're covering today, the web series The Garage, you can actually find online, so you can watch it. And so that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about the web series The Garage, which was produced by Dad's Garage Theater Company, which is an improv theater in town. It's like basically the oldest. I believe it's the oldest improv theater in town.
Yeah,
it's like our second city,
Exactly.
basically.
Yes.
As not just the web series, but we're also going to talk about the premiere, because we went to the premiere at the
event.
Historic Plaza Theater in
Where we like to hang out
Atlanta.
at events, because that's
We
where
do.
most of our events are.
That's true. The Atlanta Film Festival was also at the
Yes.
Plaza. So yeah, we've been spending a lot of time at the Plaza.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we got there really early, so we had to walk around Urban Outfitters for a while.
Yeah, which was an interesting experience.
I don't think that store is for me.
No, it's
I don't
like
think it's meant for me.
sizes. I mean, no.
What did we say while we were in there? Sorry, we're sidetracking.
Yeah,
but like,
and I'm so sorry for people who are actually the sizes.
that is fine.
at
Be
Urban
whatever
Outfitters.
size you
Yes.
are. You are gorgeous
But
at
I
any size.
swear I held up clothes and I was like, your 8-year-old could fit into this.
My 8-year-old child could fit in. Yes. So no hate to anyone who's
Yeah,
super
no.
tiny. Good. That's great. Your size is perfect, whatever size you're at. But I believe we said we were walking through the store that the store is decidedly not plus size. Like
Yes.
there's nothing that will fit on our bodies.
Violently non-plus size.
They're violently non-plus size. Violent, yes, maybe. I mean, I was assaulted.
by extra smalls.
I don't think I could fit one of my forearms into some of those clothes. I digress. So we went to the Dad's Garage premiere. Obviously, we were there super early, so we had to walk through Urban Outfitters, which is right next to the plaza. We had to. We had to, as if someone had a fucking gun to my head to walk through Urban Outfitters.
What else are we supposed to do?
So we went to the premiere at the plaza for The Garage. Dad's Garage Theater Company, as we mentioned, is an improvisational theater in town, which means they do a lot of improv shows. They also do a lot of sketch comedy and scripted shows and hybrids. I believe we mentioned Dad's Garage on the show before, back in February, when I was talking about the burlesque comedy show that I went to for Valentine's Day. So where to start? Let's start by talking about the vibe of the event itself, the premiere.
Yeah, it was
Let's
very
talk about
chill. It was very cool.
It was chill as fuck.
It was like, okay, so one of our friends, Frances, was there, and we sat with
we ran
her.
into Frances, yeah.
And we like talked before the show, but then when it started, it was just a very like relaxed but like fun and professional, like
yeah, this is what I would say about Dad's Garage in general. And I did I took a couple of improv classes there like several years ago. I like to think of myself as an improv school dropout. Like I'm planning to go back eventually and get my GED, and I just haven't gotten around to it. But basically, I started taking improv classes when I was pregnant with my third child. And I got into level 2, and I was about 8 months pregnant when I got halfway through level 2. And I was like, I hit this wall where I was just like, I needed to withdraw from society.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think I'm too pregnant to be in this class right now. And I emailed the teacher and I was like, hey, so like, I love taking this class, but I think maybe I'm too pregnant to be in this class, and maybe I should come back and finish after I have the baby? And he was like, yeah, I think that's best. Like, I think I had done a couple of very physical moves during an exercise that may have disturbed some of the people in my class, that they were maybe concerned.
I remember that night
that they were going to have to deliver a baby in the middle of an improv class.
I was at your old house and you were like so distraught. You were almost on the verge of tears. You were like, I have to finish this class.
I've never quit an acting
like,
class before.
Look at you. Like you have a baby in you, a full-size human.
And Elliot was a big one.
Yeah.
So I was like extra big.
Yeah.
I'm going to blame it on him and not the milkshakes that I was drinking every night of my pregnancy. Anyway, so I took some classes there and I did volunteer a little bit. And they are like fucking class acts over there.
Yeah.
Like, everybody is so nice. I mean, everyone from the people that volunteer, the people that have just like started taking classes, all the way up to the folks that have been there since like the 90s, whenever Dad's Garage began. And there are a few old timers, I think, left. And I don't call they're not old, they're like my age, but you know what I mean by old timers. They've been around. They went since the darn thing opened back when they were over on Elizabeth Street.
When did it open?
In the 90s. I don't know exactly what year, but I have been going to see shows at Dad's Garage since the 90s. Like me and my high school theater friends used to go see shows there in the 90s. And then of course I've had several friends that have been in the company. So I've been going there for a long time, and always enjoy anything that I see there. I'm never disappointed. And I think they're, I think they celebrate all the best things about here's what I love. I feel like I'm talking a lot, but like is that unusual for this show?
No,
You're right. Unusual. It's not. So here's what I love about sketch comedy and improv is that they're so like community based. Like it's about creating a community. It's about creating like a group dynamic and like where everyone supports each other. And there's no one person whose contribution is more important than anybody else's contribution. And I think that like you can really feel that when you go to one of these events. With Dad's Garage. And I feel this at other places too. Like the Village Theater is great. I mean, we're not talking about them because that was not the event we went to, but there's a lot of other improv theaters in town that are fantastic as well. But I always enjoy going to Dad's Garage events. It's like chill, it's fun, it's self-deprecating.
Yeah.
It's like all the things that you want in a live comedy show. But it's like crisp
and
it's polished.
Polished,
Yeah, it feels polished. Like it feels like you're seeing something that is not overly rehearsed in a forced way. It just feels like this is something that people have, like the people doing this have a high level of skill.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we got there. There was some pre-show stuff before the main event.
Well, there were like two MCs that started.
Well, God damn, did we ever look up who the actual fucking artistic directors are? Because I'm pretty sure it's Kevin Gelais, and then like, is it? Okay, so we've taken a second to look up who fucking runs Dad's Garage because we're a bunch of we're not real journalists, people. We're podcasters.
Yeah, we don't
fucking know what we're doing.
Yeah,
we've been doing this for 3 years, but we don't know what we're doing.
Kevin Gelais is the artistic director.
Okay,
Matt Horgan is an associate artistic director.
So Kevin was was kind of like the master of ceremonies.
Yeah,
of the whole shindig.
Ed Morgan is an associate artistic director.
Okay. He was part of we'll get to his act in a second.
Chelsea Steverson is marketing director.
Chelsea Steverson. Shout out to Chelsea Steverson, who was working at C4 Atlanta when they were our fiscal sponsor. We are now fiscally sponsored by Fractured Atlas, which we haven't really mentioned on this show before. Maybe we should plug that at some point. But we're fiscally sponsored by Fractured Atlas, but we used to be sponsored by C4 Atlanta, which fiscally sponsored, not sponsored, just totally different thing. But Chelsea was a big help guiding us as we were learning how to market our business and apply for grants and stuff. Anyway, shout out to Chelsea. Anyway, so Kevin was kind of like the MC, if you will. But there were several acts that went on before the main event.
Yes.
So I guess let's go through those. So we had the first one, which was Ruben, Ed, and Tom, right?
Yes.
3 of those. Doing basically a live version of their podcast, which is You're Welcome Hollywood, I think, right? Oh, I don't know where my fucking phone is now, but You're Welcome Hollywood,
Yeah.
I believe. So there's a podcast that they have in which they are given a suggestion. And I actually listened to it after we went to this event. Anyway, so there are 3 improvisers, right? And they're given a suggestion for like a movie title that doesn't exist. And then they improvise a pitch for that movie. And I think they did like 3 different like
Yes.
mini pitches,
Yes.
right? Well, you were there. You go ahead.
Well, one of the, I think, I remember the one I liked best was the one where it was like definitely Green Book.
Oh, so yeah, they had this running joke that they were trying to pitch a movie about someone who was a narc, but they were
Yes.
so cool to party with that
Yes.
people didn't mind when they got narked on.
Yeah, what was the name
They
of
had
that?
they had a very snazzy, funny name, and I can't
Yeah.
remember. But then one of the pitches was basically Green Book.
Yeah.
And then they were like, "Isn't that Green Book?" And
Yeah.
they're like,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's 100% Green Book.
"Oh, it's 100% Green Book. It's
Yeah.
it's just as bad."
and there was one joke where it's like that it's just to make like white people feel comforted or congratulate them, and they're like,
Yes,
we need
so
that.
It was we need that right now. It was a satirical criticism of Green Book, which
Yeah.
you know I'm on board with.
Yeah,
So. So they did that. There was like 3 mini pitches, and that's basically what their show is. So
Yeah.
if that sounds something, if that sounds like something that you would enjoy, they do have a show called
it was good. It
You're
was
Welcome
fun.
Hollywood, which I did listen to. It's very funny. I listened to the Porcupotamus, I believe, episode.
Porcupotamus.
Yeah, it was like a
Porcupine and
kaiju film. Have you ever heard of a kaiju film?
No.
It's like a kaiju film is like Godzilla or like one of those monster movies.
So what the monster is a porcupotamus? Is
Yes.
that like a really fat porcupine who swims?
It was very funny.
Nice.
So if you like, there's a whole bunch of episodes of them pitching these like fiction, not real movies.
Yeah.
And it's very funny. Anyway, so they did that. That was enjoyable. That was a crowd pleaser.
Yeah.
And then what was next after that? Was the movie next?
Yeah, the short film that won an audience award at a film
Right,
festival.
yes,
Which
so-
festival was that?
The DC Shorts? I think they said DC,
Okay,
DC
yeah.
Shorts, yeah. So they showed a short film. It was called That Was Awesome.
It's about 20 something minutes long.
Right. So it's like well you have the IMDb up?
When a floor hockey team of adults with special needs gets pushed around one too many times off the court, they decide to stand up for themselves on the court in the game of a lifetime.
Right. So so it's the main cast. So it's Amber Nash, Archer's Amber Nash, or Dad's Garage Amber Nash.
Yeah.
She's been improvising there for a long time. So she's in it, and then of course there's a lot of other people from Dad's
Yeah.
Garage who are playing like the
asshole
asshole
team.
opposing team.
Yeah.
Including Kevin Jalais, and if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, I apologize. Again, I'm not a journalist. I do know a lot of people at Dad's Garage, but I haven't met everyone, so I don't. I just want a disclaimer that there will be some name mispronouncing, and I'm so sorry. I'm genuinely sorry. So Kevin Jalais, if that is your real name, sir. I think Kristen King was in it. I want to say Ed Morgan was in it.
And what is her name?
Anyway, there's a lot of Dad's Garage improvisers that were in it. Whitney Millsap.
Whitney Millsap, yeah.
And then the majority of cast is like actors, like real actors, special needs
Yeah.
actors. And I don't know what did you think?
So they have great
That Was
characters. At the very start of it, I was worried that it was made at their expense. Like at the very start of it. But
I
then
never
as
felt
things,
that way. Like I never felt. It always felt like a comedy where the joke wasn't on them. It was that's how I felt.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like we would hope that that's what it would be, but I'm
Sure.
just saying I had the
You were
fear.
worried
I
about
was
it. Okay.
wor-
Before the
I-
movie really got started.
Yes,
Is what you're saying.
and the
Got
first
it.
few lines.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
But then as the movie went on, I was like, oh wow, like this is great. This is like they're their own characters, that they're in control of their roles.
They all had their own kind of like little mini arcs. Like
Yeah.
everybody kind of had something, they all had their own like storyline basically,
Yeah.
like in a mini storylines because it
Yeah.
was a short film. But
And
yeah.
in the end, they outsmarted at everyone, including their coach, and they like found success and
well, they don't win the game.
right, but they feel good about that. Like
So what happened? And again, spoilers. I guess I should have thrown
Yeah.
out a spoiler alert. Spoiler alert for this movie. So let me say this. So there's someone in my life that I'm very close to that is special needs, and so this movie really got me. Not just because it's not so common to see people with special needs like front and center in this way, where they're not like supporting some other character's journey.
Yeah.
I think that the way special needs actors are usually used is like as not always, but often as like, something that is a part of someone else's journey. And that's not what these characters were. They had their own journey. So that right off the bat is something that is good to see. But also sort of the central theme I think the central theme was that they just wanted that, yes, they have special needs, but they want to be treated like they have autonomy.
like they're adults.
Like they're adults who can make their own decisions.
drink,
We might
they
lose
can-
this game,
yeah.
but let us do this on our own terms. And they do almost win.
yeah.
And so I'm getting a little emotional just talking about this. And I do think that when you have someone in your life who has special needs, sometimes it's hard to wrestle with that need, the desire to want to protect them from a world that seems like it's unnecessarily cruel. Mm-hmm. And you want to protect them from that. And when you have to let people grow and make their own decisions and have the amount of autonomy and responsibility that they can have and handle and should have. Mm-hmm. And so I think that was a thing in the movie that really spoke to me and that made me feel very emotional watching it. Yeah. And
Yeah,
it was very
great.
funny. It was very funny as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought it was wonderful. I'm not sure if it's still on the festival circuit, but if it is, check it out.
That was awesome.
That was, then it was
Exclamation point.
exclamation point. It was awesome exclamation point. But yes,
Yeah.
it's also in
It's
literally in the title.
Literally,
It's-
that's what was awesome. Exclamation point.
exclamation point is in the title.
Yes. Look it up on IMDb.
Yeah, they have an IMDb page. So yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah, I
film.
definitely
Loved
enjoyed it. I'm glad. Like we've talked about, Pose, and now we're talking about this.
Oh,
Like,
you know what we
there are
didn't-
great stories
Yes.
being told now that haven't been really told before.
Right, and I think that's beautiful. What we didn't mention though is that Katie worked on the
Yeah.
crew. Katie Hawkins, who was the AC for our short film, The Parts That Stay, was an AC on this film as well.
Yes.
And so she was sitting
She's
behind
great.
us. She's hire
She
her.
is a life
Hire her, please.
saver. Katie, I hope you're listening. You're probably not, but if you are, we love you.
She's amazing.
You're
So
amazing.
please hire her.
Every generation, an elite group of artists is called forth to define the true meaning of their time. We are not those people.
Dad's Garage TV. Open your lap hole and sing.
Okay, well, I think that's going to wrap up our discussion for this week about the Garage premiere event that we went to at the Plaza.
Yes.
I'm not exactly sure where the stopping point for this discussion is going to be, but it's going to feel right. It's going to feel appropriate.
Yes.
And if it is, you'll know when you come back next week what that
know it.
means.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us
Thank
for
you.
today's episode.
Yes. It was fun.
It was fun. It was really fun.
Yeah.
I had a good time at this event.
Yeah, this event was so much fun.
I had a good time with you at this event.
Yeah.
And Frances.
Yeah.
It was so delightful to hang out with
Yeah.
her at this show. And please come back and join us on our next episode. We will continue to talk about the web series, about the event, but most likely I think we'll be digging deeply
Yes.
into a discussion of the web series itself, The Garage, created by Dad's Garage Theater Company. And until then, stay with us. Hang tight. Hang loose. Hang tight.
Hang together.
Hang however you're most comfortable. And you were going to say something.
I mean, maybe I'll bumble my way into some of you guys' lives.
Oh, I like it. I like it. That was an invitation. But until then, please subscribe to this podcast.
Yes.
We are on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Podbean. I don't remember what I said, but things.
You should know.
We're on lots of things. We're on the things.
Yeah.
Anywhere you can find your favorite pods, we're there lurking in the shadows.
And if you can't find us there, then send us an email and tell us we should get on that shit.
Actually, that's true. I will happily put this podcast any place that it is not
We will
currently.
stick it anywhere.
Wow.
Come on.
Come on. Subscribe, please, and we'll avoid sticking things.
Yeah.
Any
no,
things.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I apologize.
No, please.
That was inappropriate.
I like it when you're unbridled.
Okay, cool.
It's something I enjoy seeing when it happens. You're a force to be reckoned with, Sarah.
Oh, thank you. That's sweet.
Oh. Also,
Yes?
maybe leave us a review.
Yes, please.
We would love some reviews. We'd love to hear what you think of the show. And you can also communicate with us on social media. That's another way to tell us how you feel about the show or how you feel about what would you like us to cover on the show. We, of course, are covering film events. We're going to film festivals. I think we're going to try to do an episode on the exhibit at the Carter Library about the history of filmmaking in Georgia. We're doing indie films, so especially if you know of some really great indie films, past and present. I've got a running list, but I'm happy to take more suggestions. Please. Indie films or web series written, produced, and etc. in Georgia that you would like us to check out, or any films that were made here in the past. Like, of course, we've covered Smokey and the Bandit. We've done The Haunting of Hill House, Dumplin'.
And
that's it.
No,
we did something else.
Yes, what is it called? The one with the
did we? Was I in a coma?
It's like Dumplin' is with Jonathan Mitchell wrote and directed it. So the film festival.
Yeah. Pageant Material. Well, that's an indie film. I was thinking of mainstream.
Okay.
But yes, we did do Pageant Material, which is a great film, and you should check it out. And they're doing I don't know at this timing of this recording, but they are doing another premiere event. So if you missed Pageant Material, which we talked about a couple episodes back, they're doing a premiere event at the Plaza. Not a premiere, they've already premiered, but they're screening it at the Plaza, and they're doing it to raise money for the ACLU in Georgia.
Yes.
So I go to that.
Yes.
Anyway, I got sidetracked, but you should definitely go to that. Look up their social media. Look up the social medias for Problematic Productions. You can find out more information on that. Problematic, as in attic in your house.
Attic, ATTIC.
Problematic Productions. So where was I? Oh, social media.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Is that where I was?
Yes.
Okay. Communicate with us. We like mail. We like messages. We like funny pics.
Yeah.
But not weird pics. Don't send us your weird pics.
No weird pics. I mean, that should go without saying.
But dating websites is where you send the weird pics, right?
Yeah. Well, no. I haven't gotten any so far.
Thank
goodness. Fingers crossed. Knock on wood.
Wait. Speaking of weird pics, I know it's taking me a really long time to get to our social media. Let me go ahead and say what our social media is, and then let's talk about that. Okay, so if you haven't turned off the show yet, because I'm just rambling at this point, you can find us on social media at Georgia Made Podcast on Instagram and Facebook, and you can find us on Twitter at Georgia Made Pod. So follow us so that we can be friends.
Yeah,
we like friends. Of course, this podcast is produced by Critical Crop Top Media, which you can find us with that stuff. You can find out more about that stuff, like our films. And of course, we got this podcast. We have a podcast that while we aren't doing new episodes, we've got a huge back catalog called the Feminine Mistake Podcast. And we do a lot of things. We got web series and stuff. Anyway, It's Critical Crop Top. And you can find us at Critical Crop Top on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And speaking of weird, uncomfortable pics, Sarah, do you want to talk about something that's happening next month in July?
So this film I wrote and directed in 2000. I wrote it in 2016. We shot it in 2016. It was finished 2017, and now it just got accepted into the Atlanta Comedy Film Festival. She'll be screening in July.
Yes, I believe it's the
19th through 21st.
Right, the 19th through 21st. We don't know what day or time yet.
Yes.
But please, if you come check out the Atlanta Comedy Film Festival.
I'm excited to see the rest of the film.
I am too. So come hang with us and see Dick Pic Professional. It's very funny. A lot of funny.
Yeah,
folks in it.
actually, because I put on my dating apps that I, write and direct stuff. Some guys have asked me what is your work? And I've had to explain to maybe 5 different guys about Dick Pic Professional.
What did they say?
They think it sounds hilarious. I've even sent the link to a couple of them, and they thought it was hilarious. So,
oh, well, great.
I was afraid that it would invite dick pics, but it has not.
Well,
no.
that's good to know.
Yeah.
So it's like a shield.
Yeah.
Because you watch it and then you go, oh, dick pics are weird.
Yeah.
And maybe I shouldn't send them anymore.
Yeah.
So Dick Pic Professional, it's going to be at the Atlanta Comedy Film Festival in July, and we're very excited about that.
Yes.
And it's pretty funny. So you should definitely check it out. Ooh. Well, my teacup is empty.
Is it?
My teacup runneth empty.
Wow. That's...
So you know what that means?
Is it time for bed?
Yeah, I think it's time. Well, it's time for us
we need to eat something and watch Pose.
Yeah, I think we got to go home and watch Pose now.
Episode number 2. I mean, this is we have put we love the first episode so much. There's so much hype for episode 2 right now.
I mean, I definitely think it's going to live up.
Yeah,
for sure. So, nighty night. We're gonna get in our jammies.
I wish
put
I
our
had
bunny
jammies
slippers on.
me.
Order some Uber Eats and watch Pose.
Yay!
So come back, join us next time. We'll be talking about Dad's Garage. Some more.